Today I fucked up by hitting reply all and somehow saving the day. So last Friday at work I got one of those company-wide emails from upper management. It was the usual corporate nonsense. We value your input, let us know your thoughts. I was annoyed, so I typed a sarcastic reply to a coworker. Yeah, I'm sure they really care about what we think, face with rolling eyes. You know where this is going. I hit reply all. To everyone. My heart dropped. Hundreds of people. Even the CEO. I was ready to start drafting my resignation letter when something crazy happened. People started replying. First one person said, "Finally, someone said it." Then another added, "Honestly, we've been asking for years and nothing changes." Within an hour, my inbox was exploding. Turns out half the company had been bottling up frustrations, and my accidental email was the spark. The CEO eventually sent out a follow-up saying they were scheduling an actual listening session with employees. So yeah, I technically screwed up, but somehow became the unintentional hero of office morale. Still terrified to open my inbox tomorrow though. Too long did not read. I'm probably getting fired tomorrow. On the plus side, you'll get a huge going away party after work. If true, this is an actual, and everyone clapped, moment. Yeah, no op. I got my entire crew and myself fired for something very similar. We ended up having a 3-day party at my house and filed for unemployment on Monday. It was a glorious way to go out. You will have a target on your back at that company for the rest of your career there. At this point I feel like it'd be retaliation if they fired you, haha. This is why unions exist. Today I fucked up by ordering gluten-free from a new restaurant. It was decidedly not gluten-free. I had a rough few months and decided to order a gluten-free treat for breakfast from a new trendy restaurant. I have an actual wheat allergy and a nasty autoimmune disease that causes inflammation of my connective tissue, veins, lungs, etc. With the allergy plus autoimmune disease, eating wheat can cause anything from anaphylaxis to chest pain. Either lungs inflame or sac around my heart inflames, depending on how much of an asshole my body is that day, to GI issues. Well, my new treat was slathered in sauce, so I didn't really notice that it was missing that X-Anthem gun aftertaste. Anyway, I've had to take 3 small rounds of corticoid steroids today because my chest trying to strangle me from the inside thing, lungs or heart sac, started happening. And now, my GI system is less than pleased. The good news is that the corticoid steroids stopped the anaphylaxis, so, yay? Downside is my body is going to be wrecked for the next week. Time to stock up on some Gatorade Zeros. Too long did not read. I ordered gluten-free from a trendy place and it was, most decidedly, not gluten-free. My body is wrecked. Edits because words are hard. I used to work in a nice little wine bar. The head chef said out loud with his chest, "If these bitches have allergies and can't eat gluten they should just stay home." There was a little war between him and I. Anytime we'd get a gluten-free or nut allergy order I'd keep it to myself and scrub down my station. Fresh boards, washed knives. And he'd always be a pain in the ass about it. Thankfully the manager had my back because we love our customers and don't want to kill their experience. We go out too. I'd be livid if someone fucked with my dinner when I was trying to have a nice date. Nah, that fault isn't on you. It's the fault of the restaurant for falsely advertising something as gluten-free when it clearly wasn't. You might be able to sue or at least talk to management. # gluten-free does not equal wheat-free. I have celiac disease and I keep having to tell people this. Gluten-free products often contain wheat dextrose and wheat dextrin, which are safe for celiacs because there is no gluten in it, but it's unsafe for people with wheat allergies. Celiac disease is an autoimmune disease, not an allergy. A wheat allergy is an allergy, not an autoimmune disease. You need to order wheat-free, not gluten-free. It's actually easier for restaurant staff to look for wheat because wheat is a top 8 allergen and is required to be listed on ingredients in most developed countries. In the US, gluten is not required to be listed on any ingredients list, so it's a guessing game. Edit. Adding wheat dextrin as well. I have both. I won the lottery. I have celiac and a wheat allergy. So much fun. I have to ask all the questions. Shar makes some wonderful tasting gluten-free stuff that makes me sicker than if I had just eaten the regular versions. Years ago, when I was a teen, my mother bought this stuff that was heathy for me to drink. It was powdered wheat grass. I did not get better. Happens to my celiac friend a few times a year. It's shite because the reaction starts below the stomach in the small intestine, so it's literally gut-wrenching. Also by this time he's paid, thanked and left the establishment that has fucked him over for at least the next day or two. Thank you for sharing. I am thankful I don't have any food allergies. Reading the description I found out exactly what gluten allergy feels like. Will be alert the next time I see someone reacting to anything they have eaten that causes this kind of reaction. TIFU. I nearly set my Airbnb on fire. Okay, so I'm staying in an Airbnb and it turns out I clogged the toilet. Why? Because I couldn't be bothered to go buy toilet paper, so I wipe with paper towels. Not the brightest idea, but nothing to panic about yet. I try using the plunger. Doesn't work, annoying. I Google it and read that apparently hot water helps unblock things. Perfect. I'll boil some water. I grab the kettle and listen. I don't drink tea, I never boil water. The last time I boiled water was 10 years ago, so I do what I used to do with my good old kettle back then. I put it on the induction stove to heat it up. Everything's fine. I go to the bedroom to look at my phone and 2 minutes later I hear a strange noise in the kitchen. And there's smoke. I go check and it's a horror scene. The kettle is catching fire and there's smoke everywhere. It's 2025, of course the kettle is electric and made of plastic. And the plastic is catching fire. Full panic. I grab the kettle and throw it out the window. Luckily onto the balcony. Because yes, the Airbnb is on the 80th floor. I was this close to launching a meteorite onto some poor pedestrian. Alright, the kettle is on the balcony but there's still smoke everywhere, and of course the fire alarm goes off. Now total meltdown. I open the windows and I run. Because I'm pretty sure burning plastic fumes are super toxic, but mostly I'm wondering if I've just caused the evacuation of a 90-story building. I run down to reception and explain that the fire alarm is going off, but don't worry, it's not because there's a fire, it's just because they have the honor of hosting the biggest idiot of the 21st century. I go back up and thank God the owner never changed the alarm code, it's 0000, so I'm able to shut it off. I'm now in this apartment that reeks of burnt plastic, with melted plastic on the induction stove, a completely destroyed kettle on the balcony, and still a clogged toilet. I'll speed up the rest because luckily it ends well. I buy some cleaning products and manage to save the stove. I buy some kind of poop gun for the toilet, very expensive but very effective, because I tried several plungers and nothing worked so I had to use that. I could go into the fact that I spent 2 hours waiting in my own crap because it was really blocked, but that's not that important to the story, and I buy a new electric kettle. Altogether it cost me over $200 in the end. But hey, it could have been worse. Like, I could have burned down the apartment. Too long did not read. I tried to boil water in a kettle on the stove thinking it was an old school one, but it turned out to be electric, so I basically just cooked plastic and wiring. Bonus. Here's the poor kettle. May it rest in peace. Bro, how have you survived this long? You are the reason people get out of renting real estate. Please visit more Airbnbs. It is like Inspector Clouseau stayed there. Why not throw the paper towel into the trash instead of the toilet? Okay, first of all, how did you fail to notice that the kettle was made out of plastic? Second, you say you were waiting in your own crap. Did you flood the bathroom? Third, how have you managed to go 10 years without the need to boil water? And my final question is, what is a poop gun? My main issue is the electric kettle being placed on the stove. They generally are made of plastic and have an electric cord attached. The made of plastic alone should tell you, I can catch on fire. Secondly, how did you miss the electric cord socket on the kettle?